I'm back. We're going on a holy crusade, my boys. Yes, we're taking back the Holy Lands from France.
I thought, you sure it was from France that we bullied the Holy Land, or that we lost?
Yeah,
the
100 Years' War, yeah. It was England
War.
and France.
Yeah, the 100 Years' War wasn't the Crusades, though.
It was, oh my god.
The 100 Years' War was because King Henry wanted to rule France because the king died and he didn't have any sons.
Die! Hey, Dylan?
You getting clapped, my boy? Yeah, we're getting clapped.
Oh, dude, I almost killed both of them and then I died. Rah, rah, Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. There was a cat that was wearing a thong. Hey, can somebody play Moscow, Moscow? I don't know if that's what it's called, but like...
Moscow, Moscow, lover of the Russian queen.
You're not even saying it right. You French piece of garbage.
In space, no one can hear you, we.
You dare go against God? God wills you to die.
Now we're killing people, but it's okay because we're killing them with Christ.
The honor of our Lord is the only thing we need. Step back.
So we're still religiously believing in this flying spaghetti monster, right?
The Pastafarians?
Yeah, are we still a Pastafarian?
Dylan! Assistance! Assistance!
I'm stuck in an execution animation, I can't move. Alright, did you just get your ass clapped?
Yeah.
Alright. I'll res, then we can 3v2. Or not, that works too.
I'm alive now. Dragon stance.
We can all agree, I'm not in a good situation here.
Can you die, please? What was that, dude?
Brayden, you are a turtle? How dare you?
It literally said Megan.
Great job, Dr. Sad.
Can you help me? Cause all of our dudes are retreating. Okay, get back on your side.
Listen to this.
Get back. Leave. Get.
Stay out of our swamp. My swamp.
Look, we're rushing. Oh, sorry, Dylan. If that was you.
That man, right there, eat his ass.
Dylan, are you behind me? Wait, is that you?
Yeah.
What's up? Dude, we're a good ow, 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 Jesus!
Don't worry, I'll take... You're supposed to be a tank, by the way. Alright, I got him.
I'm literally dying.
Mice swamp.
Got him!
That's a really cool execution, Braden.
Why? Because I slit his throat with my shield?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Dylan, if we take out all the blue guys before the other blue guys get here, technically we win.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still out of stamina.
I got you.
Oh, we did it.
Yay, because of me, I think. Maybe.
Yeah,
Come here!
Braden, you did it. You did it, Braden.
Yay, Braden did it. Yeah. Da 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 da. Could somebody play that, please?
Alright. Hold on. Let me see my orders.
Can
Braden,
you please play that?
Can we play some Breach?
Yeah, sure. Here, play Rasputin.
New from Propel. A boost to your workout water. Electrolytes meet vitamins B.
Okay, while they play that, I'm gonna read Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. And the
Could
Spirit
somebody
of
please
God
play that?
was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God created the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was morning, the first day. And God said, "Let there be a vault between the waters to separate water from water." So God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above it. And it was so God called the vault sky, and there was an evening, and there was a morning. Second day. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered into one place." And
Your soul is so large at night, the devil is wrong. That was the lyrics that just played.
God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called seas. And
Are you
God
reading
saw
Genesis?
that- Yes. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation."
I'm pretty sure Genesis 10. It's Genesis 10 that is Noah's Ark. I'm pretty sure.
I can read Genesis 10 right now.
Oh yeah, you want to hear a thought? If what's true about the story of Adam and Eve, if you have sex with anyone, you're part of the incestual population.
Moscow, Moscow, throw the glasses on the floor. Rush is a nice land. Ha 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 ha.
You want me to read Genesis 10?
Mm-mm.
No.
Actually, yes. We need prayers for this battle.
Okay. Genesis 10, the Table of Nations.
Your arrows are useless!
Hold on, can they...
Your arrows can't penetrate wood. What's the point of them?
In the broadcast...
Nah, man,
If they can't-
wood's extra thick.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Genesis 10. This is the account of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, Noah's sons. who
Suck my
themselves
ham and
had
egg and
sons after
cheese
the
sandwich! You
flood.
faggots!
The sons of Japheth. Gomer, Magon... Okay, I'm not reading this.
Ha 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 ha. Moscow. Oh my god. Dylan.
And God said, let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky. So God created the great creatures of the sea and every living thing with which the water teems and that moves about in it, according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them and said, fruitful and increase in number, and fill the water in by the sea, and let the birds increase on the earth. And then there was evening, and then there was day.
I really...
Said, let the land produce living creatures according to their kind, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, the wild animals, each according to its kind.
Help, help, help! Move, move, move!
God made the wild animals according to their kind, the livestock according to their kind, and all the living creatures that move along the ground according to their kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let us make mankind in our image and our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and the wild animals, and over the creatures that move along the ground.
Let me tell you about the fish and the trees, the birds and the bees.
So God
Don't touch my friend, only I can.
In the image of God he created them, male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them,
wait, where do we regenerate health, Billy? I mean Dylan.
Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living
Just
creature that
kidding.
moves on the ground. Then God said, I give you every seed bearing plants on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. And to all the beasts on the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food. And it was so. God saw that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening in the morning, the sixth day. That was Genesis 1.
Yeah, that was... So basically, in Genesis 1, God says it's okay that you're not a vegan. Right?
Yes.
Like that's... Yeah. Okay, so I can say that the argument that being a non-vegan is against my religion and they were Christian is one of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so you know those people who try and rub in your face that they're vegan?
Yeah, you mean every single vegan ever created?
Yeah.
What about them?
So this one tried to explain why he was vegan, and he said that if I wasn't vegan, I wouldn't be representing my religion correctly. He was a
what do you mean?
Protestant or Christian? I mean, like yeah.
Catholic,
okay,
Orthodox.
So you're not Dayan. Dylan, do you want to talk about abortions in the Alabama law?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so what's your stance on the Alabama abortion law?
Now, from what I've read about the
Alabortion.
From what I've heard about the Alabortion law, it just seems to be flat. You cannot abort your child. Now, isn't that? Now that seems that.
I think
like
it's
it
good
could go
because
wrong.
now it's like helping parents be more responsible.
Hold on.
Or teenagers at least.
Okay, basically what it says is that you can have an abortion unless it endangers the life of the mother. That's what it says.
So, let's say a 12-year-old girl had a strange relationship with a guardian or with a friend.
An illegal relationship.
Yes, because although it is illegal, it wouldn't be harming the mother. So,
okay. Well, I mean, it could mentally. But
so this law does have its benefits, but it's also a double-edged sword. For example, And not only that, but another gripe that I have with this, what this is, it's forcing
Yeah, I just
the
remembered how to beat the
ideals
living shoebus out of people.
living, or it's forcing, the government is forcing ideals onto the people living in Alabama. It's forcing their ideals into them by having that law or a requirement. I cannot think, well, I kind of have a headache and I'm pretty sure I'm starting to get sick again.
Wait, are you saying that the government's forcing what they think on people?
Yes, it may be a shared ideal, but by instituting such a law, isn't that forcing in their ideals?
I don't think so, because obviously you'd have to have the majority of the government, and how they got into that position is that the citizens of Alabama voted on them.
That is
Oh,
true.
crap.
So indirectly, the majority would agree with that act, because they voted for those people.
Yes, the majority may agree, but there is a majority, or a minority,
A minor group of people who disagree.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it is a double-edged sword, but if you follow the laws that have been set, it wouldn't be a double-edged sword. So like if 17-year-olds or 16-year-olds or 15-year-olds didn't have babies, and like it wouldn't be double-edged.
It wouldn't be a double-edged, but then again, if people were perfect, communism would be the best system of economy.
Exactly. Well, that's more of an idea of just.
Your mic's cutting out.
That's more of an idea of like.
Billy, be quiet.
Than it is of crime and law and crime.
I'm sorry, I can't quite hear you.
Okay, well, if Billy just shouts all the time, I'm gonna mute him. But anyway, communism and capitalism is more of an idea of financial politics than it is of law and crime.
Fair enough.
I can't attack the right guy.
But my point still stands. The main reason
No, Dylan, you're gay.
communism failed in Russia was because of human interference and greed.
Yeah, human corruption. Yes.
Yes.
But I'm saying, but
look at China. Didn't they like flood a lake and like destroy thousands of people's homes?
I don't know. But anyways, that's besides the point. But I'm saying, like, I guess you could say human corruption, but just child pedophilia, I don't really see how those two relate. Because like if
the reason that I believe that child corruption, the reason that I compared this to overall human corruption is because I believe that that is what this is. The corruption of I'm trying to think of
already confused. So wait, hold on, let's restart. Why do you not like the about Alabama abortion law?
My idea on the Alabama abortion law is it does have that it's a next to useless law that can be causing more problems than it solves.
What problems would you say it caused?
Gay feminists. Disgusting feminists.
What problems would you say it would cause?
The problems that I say it would cause? Well, one, for such a blanket statement law, you have certain situations for certain people where they either have to break the law or live in break the law. I'm trying to think of the word. It's like torment, but permanent.
Well, look. What if you impregnated your girlfriend and you wanted the kid, but she didn't, so she went out and got an abortion without you knowing at all?
Yeah, wouldn't you be
mad?
Another thing is but what it also stops is just carelessness. Because about 700, I did the math a while ago, I memorized it. About 733,000 babies in the U.S. are aborted because of carelessness. Not because of rape or disease, just because of blatant carelessness.
Then again,
though, it degrades the point of life.
That comes back to humans aren't perfect, we are going to be careless. Look at the Chernobyl incident. Look at any
Yeah,
large...
Yeah,
There's a
and you.
difference hold on, there's a difference between scientific advancement in nuclear energy that was developed 40 years ago, and then just deciding not to wear a condom because it's easier.
Chernobyl wasn't the best example, but there was a nuclear power plant in around, I want to say, the 1960s. The only reason the reactor overheated was because the instructor was messing with the uranium samples in attempt to train someone who was recently working there.
Yeah, but then if it's in the 60s, like I said, and I'll bring this point against that again, which even it's stronger with the 1960s, because there's a difference between nuclear advancement in science, that's nuclear power that's been existing for only 20 years, between not wearing a condom. I
yes,
mean, to compare those two is like comparing murder to a paper cup, pretty much. Kind of, because like testing something in the 20 years it's been developed, like anatomy. I mean, we're still finding out new things about anatomy, and we kind of really started anatomy in the 1700s. So I mean, 20 years isn't that much time for scientific revolution. I guess that's how you could put it.
Yeah. Well, in this day and age, as we have technologies developing faster and faster, it would seem that, you know, 20 years could be the equivalent to first discovering anatomy in the 17th century.
Yeah.
Without enough technology to really just know what you're doing. If that...
But, like, we're
Abortion.
talking about the abortion law.
So,
but like, it's human ignorance is what you're pointing to. But like, I mean, I guess so, but
not human
but
ignorance. Not human ignorance itself, but rather just general sloth.
Yeah.
Which is a common human trait and something that you say, oh, if they were responsible, they would wear a condom. Well,
yeah.
If you were responsible, so many things could have been averted if people were responsible.
Exactly. But well,
Yeah, but do you know how much easier it is not to have a kid? There's
like,
so many different ways.
Let me ask you this. Chernobyl, do you know how many people died in Chernobyl?
I want to say 250,000. I'm probably very wrong in that estimate.
Okay, 31 people died in Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Okay? You know how many abortions there's been since like the overall creation of abortion in 46 years ago? 61 million.
Now, yes, as you pointed out earlier,
No.
some things are greater accidents than others. Now, this may sound hypocritical, but such a large scale, wait, Chernobyl was a smaller scale nuclear reactor, wasn't it?
Oh, it was probably the biggest one ever.
Some accidents are simply just smaller scale, but you would
Yes,
use that
like
as an
accidentally
example.
having a child.
Yeah.
Yes, but here's the...
Do you know how many different ways there are to prevent pregnancy?
There's about 3 different ways. There's the 3 most common ways to prevent pregnancy. And like usually people don't argue against with this, but there's birth control, condoms, and abstinence. If you do 2 of those things works 99.99 continuing% of the time. 1 of those works 100% of the time.
Could you explain what abstinence is?
Abstinence is like, you just don't do it. You just stay away from it.
Like Meg in that episode of Family Guy where she convinces Peter to get a chastity belt.
But that, So there's a difference between not knowing something in a scientific advancement that's only been on this earth for 20 to 40 years, and then just not doing a simple task because it's easier at the moment. That only would cost the life of another human.
Well, Chernobyl, didn't it cost the life of 35?
Exactly.
But like what I'm saying is that was because nuclear advancements only exist for 40 years on this earth, which is in science that's not a long time. But we've had abortions for about 46 years, so that's how long it's been recorded.
Dylan, help! Dylan, help!
And we've had 61 since then. 61 million since then.
Right.
Which I mean, I probably could figure out how many a day that is.
Dylan!
Yeah, I don't know where you are, mate.
Dead now.
Okay, that's years. So if I can divide it by... That's 546 divided by 365. That's 3,000, that's 3,600 abortions a year. Or
Right.
a day, pretty much, is what that is. In 46 years, we had 61 million, that's about 3,600 abortions a day.
Right.
And
Now, let me ask you this. Is this worldwide?
yes, that's worldwide.
And
The
there's
majority of abortions occur in the U.S. though.
Hello,
Isn't the-
Yandel.
isn't
I hope I said that right.
the most
Hold on.
one of the most
Hold on. I probably could figure out what's in.
Isn't the U.S. the country that is most, I suppose, advanced in this?
Get out of
field?
my swamp!
Hold on.
Ow, ow, oh god. Oh wait, this is my team.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
look that
can't. Ooh. Oh. Ooh, what is this? Can I do this? What is...
Wait, hold on. The country with the most abortions is. Oh wow.
It is time. Wait, we won?
It's Eastern Europe.
Oh, we won!
Central Europe,
Eastern.
Eastern Europe.
Da-da.
Yep.
So,
That was fun.
is it just saying
Did
Did I just get a
Eastern-
text? Oh, I will
This
be
is like
right back.
Ukraine, Russia, Belarus. It's like that area.
I have to do one
Okay.
thing. Do you want to keep doing this, Dylan?
I need to do one more.
Back real quick.
Jeez. I'll be right back.
Okay. So. Okay, so you were saying?
Frankly, this is gonna. I forgot what we were saying or talking about.
Do you want to talk about a different topic or?
Now this is a topic I have next to no prior knowledge about, And there is not a lot of evidence you can go on with this because it's mostly just morality.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm back.
But yeah, you can continue. Do you wish
Okay,
to continue?
well,
Because
I don't care. I kinda
neither
forgot
do
what
I.
we were talking about anyway.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about right now?
Right. What?
You're saying that there's a topic that you don't know much about?
I don't know too much about this topic. I do know some certain information, but not a lot.
So you're with abortion?
So what's the topic?
The one we were just talking about, abortion.
Abortion?
Yeah.
Oh. That's what we talk about politics occasionally.
Yeah.
So, do you want, okay, so, I was going to bring up another point, but I couldn't remember what
Dylan,
it
are you
was.
gonna start?
Oh yeah, speaking of talking about politics, which do you think you align yourself with?
Wait, wait, hold on. Wait, what are you asking?
Like, do you find yourself to be more Republican,
Oh, I'm a Republican.
Now, what I think myself, you know how people can be agnostic in religion, correct?
Uh-huh.
I'm like that, but with politics, meaning
You just, if you find a good enough evidence for a certain party.
yes. Because you always hear bad things about this party or that party, but you can't really find any legible sources.
Well, like, I mean, like, I will say I have done my research about bad things about the Democratic Party. Like, a big one I'll argue at school is that the Democratic Party is racist.
Yeah. Although, some things about both parties I disagree with, but some ideals and representatives I agree with.
Here, baby.
I'll be right back. I have to use the bathroom.
I give baby.
Okay, just can I get it around you so I don't fall?
He probably won't join since I'm on here.
Dylan, can you start?
Oh no. Hey, Brayden.
Oh.
Brayden. Brayden.
What?
You know how America might go into war with Iran?
Alright, yeah.
With where?
Never mind, I guess.
Okay, you know how America might go into a war with Iran?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were already in a war with Iran.
No. We're in, yeah, but apparently Trump says if we do go to war, it will be the official end of Iran, and Iran will never threaten the United States again.
I don't believe that.
Frankly, those are very bold statements.
Yeah.
What if we lost?
Now, are they, has he given any sort of, reason to believe these statements? Like, what he may do?
Iran did, I mean,
Okay.
Iran's doing something.
And if
What do you feel about the wall?
the wall?
Yeah.
Now, the wall is one of those ideas that I do agree with, but if taken too far, it can be done poorly. The reason that I agree with the idea of the wall is for one reason and one reason only, or for multiple reasons, but the main reason is the illegal immigrants that it's promised to keep out.
But what about planes and boats?
Planes and boats?
Mm-hmm.
No, but okay, if they have to walk on, okay, if they walked here, they obviously wouldn't get a boat.
Yeah.
So, because, like, I mean, if they could get a boat, they would. They wouldn't choose to walk.
Honestly, I'm fairly sure boating on the west coast of Mexico is a fairly decent place to boat.
Well, I know waters on the western border of Mexico near California is kind of rough, so they're not going to take a boat there.
Yeah.
Well, if they're already willing to walk through a hot desert, I mean,
I mean, it's more, I would say it's more dangerous walking through hot desert, or more dangerous on rough waters than it would be on a hot desert. Because then you can be recovered.
That's true, because if you're able to prepare fully enough, going through a hot desert would be a walk in the park. I mean, it'd be difficult,
Also,
but...
what
do you
about
think
coyotes?
Coyotes? Well, you just gotta
and
walk
like
faster than
snakes.
night. You just gotta watch yourself. Yes?
What do you think about Muslims?
Muslims?
Yeah.
Now, I am perfectly fine with the majority of Muslims, since the majority of them are not extremists like the ISIS,
Yeah.
but those
Yeah.
that are like that, I have little to no respect for them.
Well, now, my thing about Muslims is that, I mean, the majority of Muslims are not extremists, but the majority of terrorists are Muslims.
That is true.
I mean, like, now, there are Christian terrorists that do things in the name of Christianity, but the problem is that in the Muslim Bible, it does say to kill all idolaters. Which personally makes me Islamophobic, but, like, I don't really like the term Islamophobic.
Yeah. Well, isn't there something similar to that in Christianity, where after Jesus freed the people of Egypt, they began to worship a gold cow, and then the 7 plagues story occurred?
What?
I could be remembering that very incorrectly, though.
Now, yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about how they didn't worship him, so he cursed the 7 deadly plagues. But the difference is that that's if you okay. What? Okay, in the Christian, like, I see what you're talking about, but that was because they were holding captive the Jews, not because they didn't worship him.
They were holding captive the Jews? The Jews?
Yeah, they were
Jesuits?
Yes, thank you, the Jesuits.
Yeah, they were holding captive. They were holding them captive. They were mistreating them. So that's why he sent, I think, Moses. It might be somebody else. I think it was Moses. I'm probably sure. I probably find it. I think he sent Moses. That's the burning bush and all that. So I think he sent Moses to tell the emperor to say, if you don't release the Israelites, God will curse the 7 deadly plagues.
And he did.
The water turned to blood. There's locusts and all that. But
what?
Yeah,
they're really good.
Yeah, because then he released the Jews, and then they went to this mountain, and then they found the 10 commandments. Yeah, that's it. But that wasn't because they weren't worshiping him. That's because they were mistreating the Jews. Now, in the Bible it says if you do not worship God, you will not go to heaven. But in the Muslim Bible, or the Quran, it says if you do not worship, you will die. Pretty much.
What? Pizza?
That's
what?
Right. Very
I think so. No, there's not.
And the fact that the majority of Muslims or terrorists are Muslims, I have to be more safe and thought.
Fair enough.
Another thing is that, like, Poland, they refuse to accept any Muslim refugees, and they haven't had a single terrorist attack.
Right.
Since the Syrian civil war.
Oh, yeah. You like that pizza?
So, I mean, that's also not good. And then Japan, one of the most peaceful countries on today's age, they said that they can't accept any more refugees because they need to look after their people first.
Well, I think the reason for that, or I believe that, yes, that does point out some, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's like segregation, but not really, if that makes any sense.
It's like segregation, but it's not segregation.
Yeah, it's like segregation, but it's not because,
Prejudice?
yeah, prejudice.
Prejudice.
Now, I'm not saying that it is prejudice, or at least not prejudice without reason. I
Yeah.
believe that because the majority of Muslims are, or the majority of terrorists are Muslims,
Yeah.
that they would want to, like you were saying. But with the majority of the religion, I have no problem with.
Yeah, but like, there's another thing which I actually done my it took me a very long time to find it. Well, it took me maybe an hour to find it.
Right.
Because, like, certain things, like, I will say, and I have noticed this, when I go to search up stuff like this, like, anti-Trump and anti-Republican things are much easier to find.
Yeah.
I will say. I found that there is a huge amount of ties, more than any other religion, with the Muslim religion and the religion of Satan. There's a lot of ties. Like Christianity, there's a few ties, of course, as of any religion, but the Muslim religion is very closely linked.
Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't that just be a coincidence, like how the speed of light is also the coordinates of the Great Pyramids of Giza?
Let's just leave it alone for now, okay?
Uh-huh.
Alright. That was
I
great.
did
You were
not
great.
know that,
Good job.
but I mean, it very well could be,
Good job.
but just the amount of ties, like, okay, it's a coincidence if there's 3 or 4 ties, but
Right.
it's fact if there's 6 or 7, you know, which I could find 4, I think, which, I mean, I guess you could say it's a coincidence. I'm sure there's more out there, but, like, another thing is, like, you know how the Islamic symbols, the moon and the star?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh, you already told me
Well,
this.
that's supposed to represent the moon and the morning star. Well, Lucifer, his name is Morning Star. So, I mean, that might be a coincidence. But it gets even deeper that there's a Satanist angel, or technically a demon, named Bethmoth or something.
Oh yeah, Bethmoth, the goat with 7 heads, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
You're saying it completely, like, correctly.
It's
If
not
I remember
good.
it correctly.
Got it? Go.
Baphomet. Is that it? Yes, Baphomet. Which, that is E. Hold on. I can't remember this one.
Now, as you say, there's the coincidence of Lucifer being the morning star, which could be coincidence, but I mean, but then there's also the connotation in which these creatures were mentioned.
Yeah, okay, so Baphomet is is like an elder translation of Mohammed.
Uh-oh.
So when the Bible was constructed, Baphomet, like when all that was started, Baphomet was called Mahomet, which refers to
Mahomet?
Muhammad. Yeah, and then it refers to Mohammed. So, which is of course the main, what's it called?
The main prophet of
yeah,
is of the Islamic religion.
Which, I mean, that's a little bit deeper. Still might be a coincidence, but that's more. And then, but another thing I found shocking is that you know Ramadan?
Say again.
Ramadan?
Ramadan?
Yeah, Ramadan for the Muslim religion.
I am not familiar with this.
Okay, Ramadan is kind of like the Muslim Christmas. And in Ramadan, what you're supposed to do is, it's like a month. It's a holy month, pretty much.
Right.
And what you have to do at the last day of Ramadan is you have to sacrifice a baby goat, sheep, or lamb.
Oh my god.
Right.
Exactly. And that I found quite shocking. Which I don't think that's really a coincidence, because that's to the point where, you know...
Yeah. Where things start piling up more and more, and you begin to think.
Yeah.
Now, other than this, is there any other ties to Christianity other than these?
Like Christianity and Satanism?
Yes, or just Catholicism as a whole, I suppose. Or, is Christianity a branch off of Catholicism, or I can't remember.
Catholicism is a branch off of Christianity.
Okay.
But Catholicism was the first form of Christianity.
Chicken rings.
I've not looked at any, but just my general knowledge of Satanism and
You guys show over the blanket. Is there napkins in there?
Christianity, I don't know much of any ties. I'm sure there's a few,
No.
There ain't napkins.
because like there'd be the least amount of ties with Christianity, because like now I have heard the argument
You know
that
what that
the
chicken wing?
Catholics, which when Satanism was invented,
Right.
Catholicism was the only form of Christianity. So I'll refer to that as when the Catholics made, like I've heard the argument that when the Catholics made Satanism, they made it in the eyes of
You
the
gonna eat that or no?
Muslims, because during the they used to constantly fight the Muslims in near the Balkan Peninsula and Iberian Peninsula. But I've actually looked this up. The idea of Satanism was invented in the 4th century. But the idea of Islam was invented in the 6th century. So that's another thing. So these ties, that the fact that Satanism was invented beforehand to Islam. But because I would figure Satanism would have the least amount of ties with Christianity, because Satanism was invented by the Catholics to be an anti-Catholic version.
Right.
So I mean, it probably I'm sure there's other branches of Protestantism, like baptism and all that, that would have more ties than Catholicism. But I would think Catholicism had the least amount of ties with Satanism as any other religion, or Western religion.
Right. Thing is, but then again though, I believe my point would still stand, because, isn't Satanism having ties with both Christianity and Catholicism, even just a lesser amount of ties, or coincidences? I suppose you would.
Wait, I'm confused. Are you saying that these ties with both of them are coincidences?
They could be, or they could be intentional,
What's this game
because
called?
wasn't
What's your point?
For honor?
my point is,
Like wizard.
couldn't the ties to Satanism in the Islamic religion?
It has knights, Vikings, and samurai.
I'm sure.
Brayden, could you be quiet, because I can't understand what you're saying.
I am. What I'm saying
Okay,
is,
yeah. I heard it when you said the ties. Just
So-
continue where you left off.
what I'm saying is, there may or may not be ties to Satanism in both Christianity and the Islamic religion. The only reason I bring this up is because, is there ties to either religion, and if so, in what connotation? Thing is though, as I'd assume we both don't know a lot about Satanism, that would be a bit more difficult to find.
Wait, finding ties that were intentional would be difficult to find?
Just ties in general.
Now, yeah, I'm sure that now I thought it was difficult to find, but like, I kind of understand what you're saying. What I think you're asking or saying is that it'd be difficult to find ties with the Catholicism and Satanism, right?
Got him.
Yes.
Okay, I don't see how that like. That kind of
Yes and no. So finding ties from hold on. Oh my Jesus. Finding ties from the Islamic religion to either Catholicism or Christianity, since wasn't Satanism created from or based off those religions as sort of an anti Catholicism, you said?
Yeah,
Or was
it's
it Christian?
kind of an anti-Christianity or anti-Catholicism.
So, as that was meant to be an I keep forgetting.
Catholicism.
An anti-Catholicism, thank you.
You can say Christianity, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It seems like if those ties were intentional, that you would find ties to the base religion as well. Or I could be incorrect in that system or in that thinking, however.
Now, I was saying that the ties between Muslim, like, okay, the ties between Satanism and Islam from a Catholic standpoint, those were not intentional by the Catholics. Like, Satanism did not represent did not represent Islam, because now there were a lot of conflict between the two. It did not represent, because Islam was invented after Satanism was created by the Catholics, so it couldn't have. Muhammad hasn't even existed yet, but I mean now there's a 100% higher chance. Yeah, there's a 100% chance that Islam might have been created in the eyes of Satanism, and Satanism wasn't created in the eyes of Islam. Now, I'm not saying that it was, I'm just saying it might be, because it was created beforehand.
Right. Now,
I think that's what you're getting at.
Holy moly, Batman!
I'm sorry, but could you say that again, but in a
different voice.
Not quite a different voice, but in a different way of explaining.
Could you say that again, but in a different language?
Wing one bing bong. But no, like, okay. There's, okay. It's, okay. I'm trying to explain it, because I kind of explained it in a weird way.
Onions.
Okay. If one religion, either Satanism or Islam, was based in the eyes of the other, it would have had to been Islam that was based in the eyes of Satanism, because Satanism was invented 2 centuries before Islam was.
Okay.
And then, of course, Satanism was invented in the eyes against Catholicism. So if there was ties, it's probably coincidental or too small to even mean anything, you know? So, I mean, like, I guess, like, some ties that,
Oh, cool.
you know,
yeah.
like a small tie would be that, like, I'm trying to think what a small tie might be. Because Satanism was invented in the eyes of Catholicism, that God exists in both realms of religion.
Yeah.
Now, just like Jesus exists in the realm of Islam, but he's not the main prophet. That's virtually the only difference.
Now this is going to seem a small bit out of left field. You say that Satanism is basically anti-Christianity, but Islam saw Christians and Catholics as people of the book, since they had similar messages or similar prophets. I forgot why exactly.
Islamic see Catholics as idolaters, which of course idolaters in the Islamic religion
is
die.
No more monkeys jumping on the
So
bed.
I mean, Muslims are very hateful because they don't see any other religion with decent acceptance like Jews, Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, Shinto, like other religions do.
Yeah, look at it.
And that's why, like, Satanisms usually greet other things with hatred. From my understanding, which I haven't looked into just the Satanist lifestyle, but from my understanding of Satanists and how their lifestyle works, they're not very fond of Christians.
Well, I'd assume so if they're meant to be the anti-religion that they were based off of.
Yeah. But, so, I mean, like, it's funny. It's also another thing. Do you think the Democratic Party is the party of racism?
Now, this is a tough question for me specifically, because I have not heard anything calling Democrats racist.
I am.
Okay, so do you want me to tell you why I think they're the party of racism?
Yes.
Okay, so the party was invented in 1824. Yes. The first Democratic president, Andrew Jackson, his first major accomplishment in office was forcefully exporting millions of Native Americans to land they technically didn't own. Okay? So, that's the first Democratic president.
Right.
The next 3 or 4 Democratic presidents that would come would agree with slavery, and they would continue agreeing with slavery until, of course, the Civil War, of which Andrew Johnson, who was the first Democratic president after the Civil War, said created something called the 10% plan, which, when they were trying to reconstruct the South after the Civil War, there were 2 plans. There's the Radical Republican plan and then the 10% plan. Radical Republican plan that said that we need to punish the states for rebellion and we should give blacks more rights in the Constitution because all men are created equal. Well, Johnson said, no, we should only give, now, in the Radical Republican plan, it said that 50% of people from each state should remain loyal, which means that if they were to start up a new war or a new problem, that they would have to be part of it. Well, the 10% plan said, no, only 10%, and then blacks should have a little bit more rights. Of course, so... and then hold on, I'm sorry. Then progressing to about like the 50s and 60s, or like the 40s, 50s, 30s,
70s.
Yeah, 70s, well not 70s. Higher hands of 1964. Every year from 1865 to 1963, the Democrats instated Jim Crow laws. Democrats were pro-Jim Crow laws and pro-segregation until 1963, until a politician who was JFK's vice president, Lyndon B. Johnson, pretty much said, and I'll quote it, but he said, well, I can just give them some rights, and they'll think that I've done all this stuff for them, and I'll have to vote them.
Oh my God!
What he say is, I'll have those N-words voting for the next
I got Germ Killer right here. You want some?
But, now, see, what a lot of people fail to realize is there's 3 main Republican presidents, Eisenhower, Grant, and Lincoln. Lincoln freed the slaves, Grant gave them the right to vote, Eisenhower ended segregation. But, like Lyndon B. Johnson, in 1963, 5 days into his presidency, he said
You're okay, you
that
can bounce.
my
You can
war
fill
on
up.
racism begins now. Which so many people credit him with being the ultimate ender of racism. But what they don't realize is before he said his thing of racism, he would do nothing for blacks, and he often used the N-word on live television. Like in 1957,
You keep
Eisenhower
in
passed.
mind though, this is the 1960s when that word was normalized.
Yeah, but like, still, the average Republican wouldn't say that.
Just a little sip.
I mean, in
Right.
office they wouldn't say that because it's usually Southern people that would say that. But in 1957, Eisenhower passed this bill that kind of ended segregation in public schools. Yeah, it did
Right.
end segregation in public schools. Well, Lyndon B. Johnson, who's president of the war against racism, called this the N-word bill on live television. And I mean, you can find videos of him saying stuff.
No, you're not gonna die. Just your turn.
So he passed two main acts. So in
Right.
he said I'll have those N-word buildings for next year. This is November 7th. About 3 months later, he passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Which, like, now this is when the election was coming around. Which his opponent, Barry Goldwater, said, I don't think that's right, because, look, okay, so what the act basically says is that you cannot publicly discriminate against black people.
Right.
No, you verbally discriminate. Now, Goldwater said, well, I don't think that's right, because that's against the First Amendment, which technically it is, but it's not, it's good. It prevents
Yeah.
but it's still against the First Amendment. So, what happened is that Johnson
No more doing that on the
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Now, here I think he has a point. Here I think, I'm sorry, who are you talking about? I'm sorry.
Goldwater and Johnson.
Here I think Goldwater and Johnson have a point. This was meant to be a law, correct? This is infringing on the First Amendment.
Hey, put underwear on, Grace.
Yeah,
But I do understand